Oh, this is my outline. Well, this is my book that we'll be looking into. So this is how my setup is usually is. So I'll have like my outline on all the chapters. Usually I do this on Google Docs. Feel free to do whatever works for you. I we recommend having an outline, as I said. This is because, like, let's say you're able, if you want to edit something, want to go back to 4 because maybe you wrote something, you're like, I'm gonna go change something in 4, like midway. You can just simply click. Let's say you want to go at 4, we'll come back to 5, 15, and since 15 is a really long chapter, you can like always highlight, comment, just say edit. So I can go 4, do my edits, and when I'm done, I go back to 15, all the way down. I see, okay, I want to edit this. Next thing you want to do is know what scene you're in. Like, what are you going to be writing about? So I'll be editing this scene. I'll highlight that too. Here. So this scene is basically, they suspect that maybe the husband was involved in her. So you want to know what this scene is about. Suicide. So they're going to, as I was saying, this scene is basically about these two parents to hopefully get some, their child has committed suicide. That's the word I'm thinking of, right? Revenge. They are going to a lawyer. Justice. That was the word. My bad. So they're trying to get justice. They're going to a lawyer. That's what the scene is about. So as of now, what I've read in or read before was that so there was a lawyer. He introduced himself. So the parents, they are having an argument. They're speaking in Telugu. That's their mother tongue. And of course, the lawyer is a little bit confused. One thing, if you're trying to incorporate different languages, one thing I can suggest is you can Romanize it. So maybe it can be like readable for the for English readers. But like you can also put like the language, the translation in parentheses. So that it could be so the reader knows what they're saying. So that's one thing I would do. So they're having an argument, and then the lawyer says, "Excuse me." So now you have to think, what do I want to gain from the scene? Like, what's supposed to happen? Like, what do I want the ending result to be? So the lawyer is like, make sure you want to start like really smoothly, like smooth out from an argument scene like this. So he's like, "Excuse me," and then the parents are like, "Okay." So maybe the father's name is Shankar. So his father's name is Shankar. So Shankar. So the first sentence what I'm referencing to that. So they have 2 kids. One of them has gone missing for like a year, and they heard nothing back. And then now this time they're lost their first daughter. So now they're in a really bad state now because like now they don't have they lost 2 like both children. Want to try to communicate that through language. I mean through speak. And usually you want to careful of how you're writing dialogue. I would say that because usually sometimes when you don't want to make your dialogue sound like statements. You want to make it sound like as if they are feeling like how you would usually tell somebody. So that's kind of why it may takes like some re-edits. Sometimes I'm like already there, then I went. I don't think I spoke back because I was like, okay, this is now you want to try it because you want to make it sound like they're speaking. You don't want to make them sound like as if they're just
issues, spelling.
reading like one thing, statements from a book. So
That's one
I
suggestion.
can do is like, so our first say, let's say for like a phrase, for example, I had trouble spelling scoot. So like if I spelled scoot, I will get weird stuff. So you want to put like a phrase, like scoot this year. So then you can get like a good, better results. So that's this chair. Sometimes you'll get like swirls here because like it's grammatically correct, but keep in mind you're doing a dialogue. So that means there's gonna be wording that's gonna have stuff like I think the issue about like when doing dialogue is you want to because technically sometimes we tend to cut in between people and so we want the person you want to make your scenes like feel very realistic in a way. So sometimes I would like be like so Loya would be like or like sometimes people stutter. So I can put so something else that also happens in the story is well while he says that like his when his daughter's missing, he seems to be dead, she's actually alive and the based on the notes that the first daughter wrote, people are suspecting that maybe the second daughter killed her, and they're suspecting that maybe she could be alive. It's messed up. Yes, I would agree, but it's something that I want to address in in my story. So so yeah. So some reports don't know. Sometimes saying things out loud does help. I would recommend doing that. We don't know. We could do what we can do. So we have to work with what we So I can go on and on. I can just keep typing on over and over. I see I started this 10 minutes and we only have written about right here. So we only didn't even write one paragraph, which it's okay. And it's only been 15 minutes, which is okay. It's not bad. It's totally normal to like have only this much completed in like 15 in just like 10 minutes. It's not necessarily like, oh, you're typing slow. It's just you have uses how your thinking processes. So yeah, that's one. It's getting a little bit late now. No. So yeah, so we can go on and on about this dialogue. Some point you do have to make a stop. I would have to stop at like a point where they would have, I can actually just literally like stop here, but I do want to add a little bit more concern to parents about like what's going on too. I will look back on this, of course. I will have to, because especially since I am dealing with something, writing about something that's really deep. So like this never happened. This is all fiction. I should have mentioned this at the beginning. This is all fiction. Nothing of this is real. But since this is like a really like taboo, since we're discussing like a really taboo topic in this, it does require that to look back at it and do some outside research before you execute. Like there was this, do I want to show you that? Okay, actually not show it to you, but like there was this scene that I wrote where I was like, where I wrote something that sounded like really like that was like controversial and like not necessarily like proven. But when I looked it up, I realized that, oh no, this is not something good to say. So I immediately had to like change that. So what I would recommend is like, of course, do some outside research and read more. Um, take your time. Don't worry if you like only got, yeah, let me highlight like what we only have reading. You only, like take your time, even though like I only wrote this amount in 10 minutes, like it's totally fine to write really, really less in a less amount of time. Don't worry, it happens. Yeah, that's all I can say. Maybe some ways you can let me know like if you have any like ideas on how you guys like how you guys tend to organize your writing, or like how you try to like get like ideas through. And yeah, well, that's all I got. Thank you and for watching.